Are you ready?
Take Three Wrestling Podcast. It is November the 13th, 2025. We are back in the saddle again. A little bit later of a crew tonight as Skinny Virgil is on assignment for his second uh, Lucha Libre USA show in Guadalajara, Texas.
Yeah, he's going on the trip again. Good luck to him while he's out there on those mean streets.
Yeah, for someone who doesn't like flying, he's doing a heck of a lot of traveling, being on assignment for us. We appreciate the hustle and bustle of a man named Lopez.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So with that being said, we had started last week the Survivor Series bracket. We'll push that back to next week because I prefer to be the tiebreaker, as I'm the one who set the teams.
Yeah, that's probably the better way to approach that.
So I've figured I would pivot to something that we can talk about while we're on the air here as a live reaction from you. We also will talk Gold Rush because that's a thing that's coming up next week for NXT, a 2-week special. Is that at MSG or is that?
Yeah, it's at the theater at MSG.
The theater at Madison Square Garden. But before we get to the actual topics, I guess let's talk arguably the biggest story in professional wrestling this week. Grand Slam Cena.
Yes.
I said it when we talked about the Cena stuff. I in our predictions for his final 4 shows that I would love to see him win and beat Dom for the title. I don't know if I said there or if I said MSG, but one of the two. I love the fact that send off felt really important. With Triple H being the one to do like the prelude to him coming to the ring and getting involved in the situation. I was at work, so I didn't get to really have the audio on. So I went back and watched it this past Tuesday, I think it was, after my baseball game. If I'm in the audience Wednesday, December 13th, that final show, wherever I'm sitting, please don't put the cameras on me because I don't know that I won't be in tears.
I think most people are probably going to be that night. I
started getting teary-eyed during his speech. I don't know that I'm gonna be able to hold it together for the last one.
No, and rightfully so, justifiably so. And there's no reason to hold back on that one. I mean, that's going to be for wrestling fans all throughout like our history, varying levels of age have all experienced like the time when like their childhood wrestling is officially like dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I really remember driving home. It was me and Ryan from 3CT. Our tradition of going to Matt's for WrestleMania dates back close to a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there for 33 when the when the Undertaker did the
Take
hat
his gloves
coat
off
and
and
that in the middle of the ring, and it was it didn't surprise me, but it shocked me. And like I remember driving home and we were like talking about, and I was like, dude, like that was basically the end of our childhood wrestling.
uh,
Because like for us, I mean, John Cena was a little bit later. You know, we were
mhm.
late high school, early college. So I missed a lot of the early part of his career. Um, but yeah, like we've all kind of had those moments, and it's wild.
Oh, trust me, Taker was. I would say Taker and Shawn were probably the first two of my quote childhood because I've been watching wrestling for as long as I can remember. Early '90s, 4 years old, watching wrestling. Um, and I felt the same way you did about Taker. Um, being in attendance that night, and it was me and Joe, our good friend Blake, who lives down here. Craig was there with his girlfriend at the time. It was like the six of us, but me and Joe had our seats, and the other four guys were like floating around from empty seats to empty seats because they had bought upper deck tickets or whatever. They kind of hung out with us for the main event because the family behind us left. Um, they were like ready to go, and like I remember sitting in my seat just being like, "The fuck did I just see?" Like
Right.
processing everything that just like happened, and I was so dumbfounded that night. And you know, going back and thinking about wrestling and what it's been for me and all of that, like not only is like Cena one of my guys, and it's like watching Cena retire is going to be painful, but it's like you watch the Cena retirement and then okay, the Mania streak ends. So you're like, damn, I don't get to see his final WrestleMania. So then I told myself, all right, maybe it's not the final, but maybe I can get to a show to see it before it's over. Then this whole government shutdown thing happens, and San Diego becomes something that doesn't look like it's going to happen. And they announce it's DC, and it's like, it almost feels too fitting for me as a wrestling fan because and not a ton of people know this, but that stadium holds a lot of not just fandom memories for being a Washington Capitals fan and being in that city for as long as I was. That city and that arena holds a lot of wrestling memories for me. I was at Starcade the night Sting beat Hogan
Okay.
in that building. I was there the next year when Kevin Nash finished off Bill Goldberg's undefeated streak with help of Scott Hall. Both of those
Bill Goldberg.
both those events my grandfather was with us at. Someone who always supported the wrestling habit. Um, and then I went back to DC to go to a Survivor series that saw Team DX like clean sweep somebody, and I think we had them in the bracket. Like, if there's a way that I can get there on top of all the other memories to know that that's the building that John Cena will have his final swan song in, it's like not only is the greatest goal scorer in hockey history and my favorite hockey player of all time inevitably going to have his jersey number hung from that rafters. Like
Mhm.
the guy that I like got me through an era of professional wrestling that really felt intolerable at points really gets to finish his swan song in a place where I really grew up watching wrestling. And it's like that's the driving force to try to find a way to get there.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, epic moment, wins the title, pulls off the Super Cena, rolls through the frog splash. I don't know that there could have been a better match for John Cena to win that title in that regard.
No, I don't think so. I think it was a very fitting way to do it. I didn't see it live. We were mystery movieing at our local theater. I thought that they would do John at the end of the show. I thought they would hold him off until the end. And I said to somebody, and maybe even been on here, was Cena closes the show and you don't hit stop. Oh no, I did it on the In and Out Sports Debate with Drew Willingham on Sunday. So I thought that would have been a way to do it, but kind of kicking off the night that way also kind of makes sense as well. And kind of catches you by surprise and maybe gets you in and keeps you in the door. But yeah, I really thought, that to do it there, because I know right, wrong, or indifferent, WWE caught a lot of heat from for not having his final show in Boston. And it kind of came down to a TKO financial decision, in Boston not ponying up the full cost to solidify the date. That, I guess, that's business. But to have him win the Grand Slam there and kind of leave the remaining 3 shows really now kind of what is going to happen, because we know he's not in the War Games, man. We know that.
Are we sure?
I think pretty sure, right?
In War Games! War Games! War Games! War Games!
I mean, he shouldn't be in War Games, but
I mean, yeah, I guess technically there's
2 spots on the men's side still open.
I highly doubt it's going to be him.
It should not be him.
Correct. Because why is a guy who has 1 date left fighting the Vision?
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, it logically it doesn't make sense.
Unless something happens Monday night at the Garden where Logan Paul or Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed win the Intercontinental title from Cena.
Yeah, which I hope doesn't happen. But
I'm in the same.
Yeah,
I'm in the same boat that you are. The only pivot that would make sense on why he would then continue to fight somebody from the Vision would be as if they're the ones who beat him for the title.
Also, can we talk about the fact that the John Cena Farewell New York shirt, the guy from Massachusetts, the goodbye shirt is a Yankee shirt? You're like, look, I know you and I, especially, we hate the New York Rangers. Hate the New York Rangers. They're in Madison Square Garden. You have 2 options: Knicks, Rangers.
And you technically already did a very similar Rangers shirt for MetLife when you went Giants and Jets, because you had both.
Yeah.
So you went similarity with the color wheel. So how is this shirt not royal blue and orange?
Right. Yeah.
How is this not New York Knicks colors?
This should be a Knicks shirt. The second to last John Cena shirt is a New York Yankee themed shirt. That's bad form. That's bad form on WWE. I'll call
That's a disgusting act.
I don't have that on
I'm gonna just use my own version of it.
Yeah, that's you can't do that. You can't do that.
Fuck you, Tony!
That one works too.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
Yeah. So I guess now my question here, because we've determined that Division and then Punk, Cody, and Jey Uso are in War Games,
Mm-hmm.
we now can cross 6 names off the list of who will be John Cena's final opponent at Saturday night's main event. Because the finals of that is taking place at Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
How is it not Gunther at this point?
I mean, I feel like, all signs are pointing.
I'm still holding out hope that they find a way to do Ledge.
I hope so, but
They're running out of time.
well, the problem is, like, all of our hope was kind of like he comes out to the ring for his final match, his final night, Saturday night's main event, does an open challenge, and we hear Ledge's music.
Mm-hmm.
As they're doing this tournament, that kind of eliminates the ability to do that, because you have to have a series of matches to get to the John Cena match. Now, theoretically speaking, you could have the winner of the tournament lose to Cena, and he could say, we're having just way too much fun here. I'll give one more person one more shot. But I don't see them being that creative enough to do that. So that's kind of a bummer. So it feels like it's all signs are pointing towards Gunther, which I have mixed feelings about. Because I don't think he necessarily needs that. I don't think billing the tournament as giving. They're basically billing the tournament as giving whoever beats him or has the chance to beat him, giving him the same opportunity that this upstart John Cena had at the start of his career. I'm not sure how giving it to a 38-and-a-half-year-old wrestler.
I don't know how giving it to a guy who has the longest Intercontinental title run of all time and was a world champion at the same show that John Cena won 17 this year is giving somebody new and fresh an opportunity.
Right. A guy who's been wrestling since he was 18. He's been wrestling for 20 years. I understand he's only been in the WWE since 2019 in the NXT world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still 6 years. But, right, tons of accolades in the WWE. World champion, Intercontinental champion, NXT champion, NXT UK champion. Almost won the Royal Rumble. Like, I don't giving a 38-year-old and I'm sorry, Gunther versus Javon Evans. Like, just give him a bye if you're gonna do that. Like, no offense to Javon Evans, but dear God,
he is gonna get the shit chopped out of him. Something fierce.
Right? Like, come on. Like,
so far, Rusev defeated Damian Priest. Good win because Rusev drove a fucking tank to WrestleMania play button.
Yes.
Sheamus defeated Shinsuke, former rival.
Mm-hmm.
As announced, Jey Uso will take on The Miz. The Miz is going to win that because Jey Uso's in War Games. Hello.
And also, great to see those young and upcomers, Sheamus, Shinsuke Nakamura, The Miz, and Jey Uso.
Mm-hmm.
In
Damian Priest as well.
Yeah, Priest is old. Oh yeah, so is this guy. If it's gonna play, come on.
Yeah.
He's facing to be determined tomorrow.
Right.
That feels like it's going to be surprise number one.
That I'll tell you who that's going to be. Joe Hendry.
Makes sense.
He reportedly, per Fightful, signed to the WWE today.
So then we have the Javon Evans Gunther match, which you mentioned on Monday night. Monday night also Solo Sikoa versus a mystery opponent.
So,
and then you have two other to be announced matches that'll probably be announced tomorrow night on SmackDown.
Yeah, because there'll be a SmackDown match and then a Raw match right before Survivor Series. One of two things is going to happen on Monday. Either John Cena is going to do an open challenge for the Intercontinental title, and Chris from Canada is going to answer the open challenge, or Chris from Canada is going to be Solo Sikoa's opponent. I really do believe Chris Jericho is returning to the WWE in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I mean, it makes the most sense.
It's obviously the world's most famous arena. It is going to be a night where Netflix is going heavy on advertising for John Cena as a last Monday Night Raw match. You're going to be getting a lot of eyes on this Raw. This is a prime spot to bring back look, we can all feel how we feel about Chris Jericho, but it is a recognizable face. And if you have friends that have not watched wrestling in a while and you tell them, hey, John Cena's wrestling his last match on Raw ever, like his last Raw match ever, and Chris Jericho might be returning, there's people who are tuning in because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think, and also Jericho was on his podcast this week talking about how TNA Wrestling is looking at their last pay-per-view attendance is clearly the number 2 wrestling promotion in the world. Oh yeah, he's home. Okay, he's coming home. That, like, if you don't need, and I think the Meltzer and company even today on their show were saying, like, Jericho's podcast kind of felt like his goodbye to AEW without like a formal goodbye.
Yeah.
And and honestly, I think that's the best road for both of them. Chris Jericho and AEW did exactly what it needed to, and a little bit more that didn't need to be done. He came in, he was a face that people could recognize. He was still pretty good at the start. Was their first champion again. Smart choice. And then he kind of elevated some guys, got some eyes on some people, and then he wore out his welcome, and then now he's gone.
They also put the Ring of Honor title on him when they were trying to get that a fucking TV show.
Yeah. So, he did what he needed to do there. But I think coming back to WWE now for a final run, induction into the Hall of Fame, which he absolutely belongs in, is the best final step for Chris Jericho in the wrestling business.
So you brought up the John Cena Open Challenge for the Intercontinental title.
Mm-hmm.
Are we saying the winner of the tournament is going to be the one that gets the title, or does he drop it Monday night? Or does he run an open challenge at Survivor Series and lose it in San Diego?
If Chris Jericho answers the open challenge, he loses it on Monday.
Okay.
If Chris Jericho is in the tournament, I think Cena will open challenge and win in Madison Square Garden. And I think he will end up defending and losing the title at Survivor Series. So then his last match is just his last match. Because if he goes into the last match as a champion,
you 100% feel he's going to lose.
I feel like it is a borderline guarantee that he's going to lose. And even if he does win, then guess what? We have another tournament. We've just had tournament after tournament after tournament, it feels like. So I think to get the title off him before that, so that his last match is the feature and not the Intercontinental Championship is the feature.
I am like at this point like hoping that he drops it in San Diego, but I'm like low key hoping that Joe Hendry wins the tournament, or if it's not Ledge, obviously.
Sure.
Because I feel like if there's a guy that I want to see win his last match, it is John. So like he can't have the title, you know, and Hendry could be the guy that afterwards that John kind of passes the okay, fans, here's the endorsement. Like, you loved me, love this guy.
Right. Yeah.
You know, the Darby Allin Sting, here's the baseball bat transition of Tim's fandom power.
Right.
This he feels like a guy that John at the end of it, standing in the ring, Joe gets up, shakes his hand, walks out of the ring, and Cena's like, go support that guy. Be that guy. You know, and it's like, yeah, that we can have the Joe Hendry stuff going on. That'd be a lot of fun. I guess the other thing that John mentioned in his speech that we can kind of touch base on, they announced that Saturday night's main event is going to be a series of exhibitions between main roster and NXT members.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think it's great too. Because even beyond the John Cena retirement, WWE has to really start thinking about beyond like the next probably 12 to 24 months. Because we already know AJ Styles is retiring next year.
Yep.
Cody has already said his next contract's going to be his last.
And gonna probably say he's gonna go down to a
Roman Reigns part-time schedule.
I won't go that minimum, but I do think once he drops the title on this end, I definitely think
he'll be on the lighter side.
That schedule comes down drastically.
Bork Laser is obviously towards the end of his career. Randy's near the end. Kevin may never come back. Sami Zayn's older. Jey Uso older. LA Knight older. Priest older.
Seth Rollins can't stay healthy.
Rollins' body is breaking down
rapidly.
Yeah, I mean,
no offense, love him to death. Father Time is pissed off at him.
Well, I mean, yeah, he ran hard in the Indies for a long time.
Yep.
He has run hard in WWE for a long time. And he hasn't, and I'm fine if he's not changing his style. I'm not telling him he needs to change his style, but Father Time is catching up, bro. Undefeated. He'll be 40 next year, which is insane that Seth Rollins will be 40. CM Punk obviously is near the end. I mean, that's just on the men's side.
A name that we like fans don't really say much about, but me and you have said and given flowers to as much as we can. Mike the Miz.
Yeah. Miz.
He's got to be on. Yeah.
Shinsuke.
I was going to say Shinsuke's gone within the next 24 months.
There's a lot of wrestlers that are nearing the end, nearing the end. I'm not going to say nearing the later part. They're nearing the end of their careers. Like, so I think having a show like this where, you know, you're presenting the opportunity for these NXT superstars to showcase themselves is tremendous. Yeah, I mean, on the women's side, Nia Jax is 41. Nikki Bella is in her 40s. Charlotte and Candice, late 30s. Becky Lynch, Naomi, Bailey, Bianca, Nikki Cross, Io Sky, they're all over 35. Alexa Bliss, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven. I mean, there's a lot of talent that is 34 and above. So on both sides, Natalia is in her 40. Like yeah, it's getting to that point where WWE has to really start to go, okay,
It's time to freshen this thing up a bit.
right. It's the late 90s were the new generation, right? The mid to late 90s. We're about to have that again.
Yeah.
Which is kind of exciting.
The fact that you just said that out loud really made me just chuckle, because it's like, this WWE now feels like a vicious circle.
Mm-hmm.
Your superstar of the late 80s, Hulk Hogan,
Mm-hmm.
body starts to break down, Father Time starts working against him, decides to leave to go to WCW. Here's the new generation of stars. You're the new generation for a couple years, then you get your superstars, then you run the Hulk Hogan loop, and then you have Ruthless Aggression, which really felt like just a different name for the new generation when you were trying to build Randy Orton and Batista and John Cena and these new guys. And then those guys took off, and then now this feels like the new generation with a different name to build your next stars. Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Carmelo Hayes. Like, this literally just feels like a circle.
Right. Yeah.
And like, I chuckle because it's like, holy shit, that's the light bulb that just went off. So it's like, goddamn, all right. So I will say I do hope that Matt Cardona is is somewhere in this tournament, for the record.
That would be cool.
I'll leave it at that. So who from the NXT roster do you think has to be on this Saturday night's main event?
That's a good question.
Because the one name sticks out, and he made his return this Tuesday after Ricky Saints retained his title. It's Oba Femi.
Has to.
Oba has to be on this show. I don't know who he faces. I don't know what the match is. I don't know that I care what the match is. Oba Femi has to be on this show.
Right. If he's not in the tournament.
Correct.
Then yeah, has to be on that show. Has to be there that night. I do feel like Ethan Page should probably be on that show.
I wouldn't mind seeing him, and if him and Chelsea are still the mixed tag champions, have them defend against somebody on that show.
That would be cool.
Javon Evans would have been a name that I would have mentioned, but he's in the tournament.
He's in the tournament.
Do
you think there'll be a women's match?
I mean, I would put one on there, even if it's a 8-women tag main roster versus NXT roster.
Jordan Grace should be on that show.
I would do an 8-woman tag and almost do Jordan Grace, Lola Vice, Jada Parker, and someone. JC Jane, Fallon Henley, someone.
Yeah.
And put them up against, maybe it's Charlotte, Alexa, Io, and someone. Maybe it's even Rhea. You know, and you kind of do a showcase match. You know, I don't know how you don't have Ricky Starks.
Yeah, I feel like Starks has to be there too.
Like I almost feel like you have to have the champ. Like Ricky Starks, and if Tatum Paxley is still the champion post Gold Rush, like I feel like you have to have the two of them on there because you're just being like, these are the champions of our show.
Right.
You know, same with, and I'm gonna chuckle at this. You have the soundbite. We've already played it once tonight, Mr. Khan.
Oh,
Fuck you, Tony!
Blake Monroe.
oh yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely, she has to be on that show.
Like, is there not a bigger one in the
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, she has to
like?
be on there.
And she's a champion. At least as of right now, she is.
Correct. Yep, 1000%.
This almost feels like an exhibition. Okay, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus uh Alexa. Go home. Sure. Like, oh, because I said Bliss. Haha. Yeah. Makes sense, I guess.
Echo, tell me a wrestling joke.
Why do wrestlers take their unitards to the dry cleaners? Because they're afraid of clotheslines.
That's a good one.
Unitards.
I was like, oh, Joe's not even here. We're gonna get thrown off the air.
I was like, the views and opinions of the Echo.
It's like, wait,
Those.
the hell just happened here?
So that's. I feel like those are some names that I came up with thinking about it over the last day or two. But I wanted to ask you this, and I'm going to put this on you, and it's not Cena related. This was the live reaction that I was going to get from you.
Okay.
Does blood and guts actually work in AEW? Because and tip of the cap to Triple H here. They haven't put a roof on the structure yet like the old War Games did.
Right.
But 2 teams of 5 striving to survive has always been about keeping the 10 superstars in the cage. War Games is where it's supposed to end. I watched both Blood and Guts matches last night. There was more action outside of the ring, it felt like, than there was inside the ring. Especially in the women's match.
Right.
I will tell you this. If you are going to play up this version of that match as your version of War Games, there's too much shit going on.
Yeah. So here's I think it's kind of almost like a two-part or a two-way question.
Okay.
Because the match, the actual match, bell to bell, show starts or match starts, chaos happens, match ends. That will always work in AEW because their fans and casual observers that will see clips of it on social media, people love that level of chaos, that unpredictability that comes with that sort of a match. So, I'm going to kind of do the 50-50 deal because so in that aspect, yes, it absolutely works. The problem, so to speak, is twofold. One, more stuff happens outside the ring than happens in the ring. which at the core of that match violates the match. Also, they're doing stuff in that match that is clearly setting up for beyond the match.
Mm-hmm.
A match like that should be the end. A cage match should be the end. Hell in a Cell should be the end. You know, whatever death brawl or whatever the fuck Moxley had and Hangman had with these matches.
Texas Death.
Yeah, Texas Death. These matches should end feuds. We saw Darby and Mox try to murder each other in a match.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 days later, they're jawing at each other on Dynamite.
And they were both involved in this match.
And they're both involved in blood and guts.
And it doesn't feel like it's still over.
Well, no, because you had Pac throw him off with assistance from another dude into a flaming table.
Oh, Gabe Kidd.
And Gabe Kidd, like, so you've now had two guys in two should-be feud-ending matches that have not ended feuds. So in that aspect of it, no, this does not work. So whether or not it works depends on what you want out of your wrestling and your blood and guts. And for me, I'm still kind of a little bit of the traditionalist, purist when it comes to my sports entertainments. So I lean more on the side that it doesn't work, at least, again, as the match is designed. I enjoy it. I now, granted, I was watching some other stuff last night. Prior to tuning in, I saw some of the women's, I saw some of the men's. The matches are entertaining. Like, I enjoy the entertainment of the matches. But again, when we're going to see probably some of the wrestlers that competed in it on Collision this weekend wrestling and seemingly just fine, what's it matter? When Moxley and Darby continue to feud, what's it matter? When the Death Riders and Roderick Strong and
the conglomeration
continue to fight with each other, why did we do this then? Like, what? Like, these things should be feud enders.
I'm sorry. The most pain obvious one, Chris Statlander and Mercedes Moné are going to fight for the AEW women's title in 2 weeks at Full Gear after just wrestling in each other inside Blood and Guts.
Right. Like, for years, WWE got ripped for every time before a head-to-head singles match for a title was going to be on a pay-per-view, they were in a tag team match before the can they coexist? First off, if AEW is doing that stuff as well. But yeah, you're having people compete against each other in title matches. They're always in tag matches right before those title matches, or they're in some sort of fight before and I'm just like, they're doing the same thing that you hated WWE for. And here's the thing, for the record, I don't care. I actually do not care. But again, let's keep it consistent. That's all I ask.
Well, I don't care that they're doing stuff like that. That doesn't bother me either. My issue has always been, and I've heard it for years, that Tony Khan believes in old school wrestling and this, that, and the other. Well, if there's anything more old school wrestling than War Games being the end of a feud,
Right.
I don't know what
I
it is.
appreciate the thought, but you've got the story wrong.
Thanks, Romy. Like, I- I've I am a War Games aficionado. I've gone back and watched probably all of them multiple times.
Right.
There are very few times that you see, and I will give WCW their shit. Sting Squadron versus the Four Horsemen, and Sting is still feuding with the Four Horsemen 35 years later.
Right.
But what people don't forget is before that, when Sting was like a member of the Four Horsemen for like 2.5 days before they jumped him and he blew his knee out, they kind of said it was on site. So I kind of get why 35 years later he's still feuding with Arn Anderson.
That's fair. That's fair.
So like I get it. But first off, I had to watch a table full of title belts sit outside of the women's blood and guts cage because Mercedes Moné had to bring all 93 titles that she has.
I mean, to her credit, if I had that many, I would just carry them everywhere.
I wouldn't. It's too much luggage.
It's a good workout, though. She
Yeah.
needs.
You know what? I figured it out. What airport you think she's flying out of? Logan? Is
Yeah.
she flying out of Boston, or you think she's still down in Florida?
She's probably flying out of Boston.
TSA lines are an average there of
She's the reason. It's not the shutdown. She's
no,
the
it's the metal detectors going off because all the goddamn title belts that she has. I figured it out.
There
Logan International just put a picture. Have you seen this woman? If so, tell her to vacate a couple of these belts. TSA lines will go down by at least a solid hour.
You don't think she pays for the what do you call that? The express checkout or whatever? The where you don't have to check
No,
things?
I don't think she pays. I think somebody else does.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you, Tony!
Yeah, so Logan Airport, when you're stuck in TSA for 3.5 hours, agree with what they just said. Fuck you, Tony.
Hashtag blame Mercedes.
So, and like when you see that table get put with all the titles on, you're like, okay, somebody's going through that before this is over.
Right.
Like there's all the cage was supposed to keep everybody in. The cage was supposed to be the only weapon. I had to watch Marina Shafir step on glass with a taped foot and kick Mina Shirakawa in the chest.
Yeah. Like, are we like too smart for everything now? Like, is that like, are we just too old and grizzled? Or did they just make it too predictable?
I think it's
Or
think it's a mixture of
column A,
both.
column B, yeah.
I think it's a mixture of both because, and I'm going to age myself here, and it's okay. I like my wrestling this way,
Right.
and I will admit that AEW does have the better wrestling matches.
Yeah.
But WWE has vastly more entertainment. So
And they're better at entertainment.
Correct. And that's why I think it works, because depending on which flavor of ice cream you want that day, you can eat whichever flavor of ice cream you want. The problem is when the chocolate ice cream decides that it wants to be vanilla and put on its own version of War Games with its own twist, it's like, that ain't my War Games.
Right.
So, like, I'm entertained by it, but it's like, maybe let's not do blood and guts. Maybe let's just make our thing Anarchy in the Arena.
That's a good point.
If you're going to let them be out of the cage and you're not going to make the cage this sacred thing that you keep the 10 people confined into, it's Anarchy in the Arena.
Right.
Just let it be that then. That's my thing. Like, Anarchy in the Arena has been their thing since COVID. It was great during COVID. All of them have been vastly entertaining because it works. It's a high-speed car crash. War Games has always been the strategic thing. Let it go back to being the strategic thing. Over on the show that is about entertainment. That's about drawing out the man advantage and drawing out the things like that. Like, let that company do that. You focus on the high-speed car crash, the Darby Allin going through a flaming table.
Right.
You know, it worked perfect. It did need blood and guts for it to happen, though.
Right. I agree.
You know, also MVP of the women's match, Sky Blue.
Oh, absolutely.
If there's a single wrestler that had a coming out moment on that show last night, checkbox, it's her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that image, that blood, that's your blood from a stone.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I enjoyed the match. I'm not trying to be negative on either of the matches. I did enjoy both of them. But it just feels like, hey, WWE is doing War Games in like 2 weeks in San Diego. Let's run Blood and Guts so that people are bored of this match.
Right. Like, we know it happens this time of year, but this one felt hurried.
It felt very rushed.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious that the person who they added to the match after Queen Aminata's injury was the one who took the loss.
Yeah. I mean, it's an easy fall person, so to speak. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
But now here's my problem. The Sisters of Sin, Megan Bain and Marina Shafir, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale have all been in Blood and Guts. They are all in the women's tag title tournament. They've all either advanced or are still waiting for their quarterfinal match to happen. How the hell do Tay Conti and Anna Jay not just walk out with the women's tag titles now when those 6 women have been involved in arguably the most, quote, brutal match in sports?
Yeah.
Because now I have to believe in a world that they're just going to bounce back after being in Blood and Guts / War Games, being in a brawl that had weapons and glass and all this other stuff. And I'm just supposed to believe that Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa versus I think that's actually a first round matchup versus Megan Bain and Marina Shafir.
Yeah. It's a bit of a tough sell.
Like, at this point, put Blood and Guts on the shelf for the rest of the year, or just do the men's one.
Right.
Because you have a men's one doesn't mean you have to do a women's one. I get it, you want to, because equal in this, and like, I get it.
Right.
But the men's storyline
WWE falls into that problem as well.
Correct. But the men's storyline has at least progressed to needing that match. This women's storyline just felt like we just took 10 women and put them inside of a steel cage and said, kick each other's asses for the next 45 minutes. So, all right, that's all I got. You want to talk Russian gold?
Yeah. Let me. I actually just saw a thing on the social medias. Apparently, Wrestling Society X is going to be making a comeback this year.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
In 2026. Apparently, there's a new trademark that was filed, and yeah, we'll have to kind of keep our eyes on that one. But yeah, starting this week and next week, we have on NXT programming is the NXT Gold Rush. Couldn't find my mouse cursor for a second. I can't get on my screen. NXT Gold Rush, AAA, NXT, and TNA all incorporated into this. It will be taking place at the theater at Madison Square Garden. Live this week, tape delay for the second week. So please take note of that. So we're going to run down the full slate for both shows. But just be aware. So we'll start 4 matches on each show. Start first one, tag team match for the NXT tag team titles is the Dark State of Dion Lennox and Osiris Griffin taking on the Javon Evans and Leon Slater.
Before we get into that, I need you to hit the soundboard with some breaking news. At this evening's live TNA show, Frankie Kazarian cashes in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet trophy and defeats Mike Santana to win the Impact TNA Heavyweight Championship of the world.
Thing sucks.
Frankie Kazarian is now the 6th
Oldest
member,
wrestler to win a world title. Oh, sorry.
the 6th Grand Slam champion in TNA history. Can you name the other 5?
Oh, Christ. Wait, and what are the Grand Slam? It's Tag
X World.
AJ Styles,
Correct.
Samoa Joe,
Correct.
Christopher Daniels.
Incorrect. Never held the world title.
Okay. Jeff Harvey.
I don't think he ever held the X Division title.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, see, all the X Division champions is going to be hard for me. Is it Ace Austin? Is that the right? Is that a thing?
It is not Ace Austin. He never held the world title.
Mm.
But there is someone named Austin.
Oh, Austin Aries.
Correct.
Ew, gross.
One of them is a producer for World Wrestling Entertainment.
Oh, Bobby Roode.
Incorrect.
Oh. Oh, motherfucker. Abyss.
Correct.
Okay, that's right.
And last but certainly not least, current member of the TNA roster, former member of Sanity.
Oh, Eric Young.
Correct.
EY.
Yes. Yeah, Frankie Kazarian wins the title after Mike Santana was involved in a match. I don't know who he was wrestling in the main event, but he wrestled someone. It took place this evening at I think they were at where were they at? Full Sail?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
Orlando.
of all the decisions to make, that was one of them.
So yeah, Kazarian's the new champion. We can get back to Gold Rush now.
Yeah, well, congrats to Frankie Kazarian. You got a fresh new prescription of Metamucil and your TNA World Champion all in the same day. So don't tell me that dreams don't come true. All right. Yeah. So Dark State versus Evans and Slater. Did you make a prediction?
I'll take Dark Evolution Dark.
Yeah, they just won the title. They just won the Let's keep it on them here. Last chance match for the NXT Women's Championship. Tatum Paxley defending against JC Jane.
I'm going to say the champ retains.
I will say JC gets the title back.
Is this going to start leading to Tatum being turned on the calling?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Mixed tag for the AAA World Mixed Tag Team Championships. Team Canada, Ethan Page and Chelsea Green taking on Joe Hendry and Thea Hale.
Say their names and they appear, but they lose to Chelsea and Ethan Page.
Yeah, I feel like Team Canada winning this is probably one of the easier slam dunks we've had um in a while. In a while. Oh, there's some more breaking news. Former WWE star and current TNA wrestler JDC, Dirty Dango, Fandango, officially announces his retirement tonight on TNA Impact. He says he will officially retire after TNA Genesis in January, and apologizes to the system as he promises to help them find the perfect replacement for him.
No,
It's,
Dango, no.
yeah. Um, the system will take on the Radicals at Turning Point. They officially announced the return of Wesley after being released from WWE. So, got some guys coming and going in TNA. But Dango's had, of course, a wild start to the early portion of his career, and then obviously he had fallen on um, fallen into some bad habits, but he's cleaned his life up. Good to see him get a chance to come back and finish his career there. And then last one for week 1 of Gold Rush, singles match for the NXT Women's North American Championship. A very respectful match. Blake Monroe defending against Sol Ruka.
If I want Blake Monroe on that Cena show, she probably still has to be the champion. So, I feel like there's going to be something bigger that happens in this match. So I'll take Blake to retain here.
Yeah, I mean, I think Blake retains. I'm curious to see what happens with Sol, especially with Zarya on the outside, and that'll bleed into what we talk about for week 2. But Blake will remain the champion. I think there'll be probably something big. I imagine this will probably, well, now the NXT Women's title will probably close the night. This may open the show, if we're being honest. But should be a fun night there for week 1. Moving over to week 2, 2 Evolve championship matchups. The singles match for the Evolve women's title, Kendall Gray defending against Lainey Reed.
I don't see Toxic Attraction going to Evolve that often, so I'll say the title stays on Kendall Gray.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. Singles match for the men's Evolve championship. Jackson Drake defending against Sean Legacy in the most generic independent wrestling matchup names I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, it's so good. I'll take the guy who's going to start a legacy.
Yeah. I feel like one's going to stay the same. One's going to one's going to change. So give me Sean Legacy here. Triple threat match for the TNA Knockout World Title. Kalani Jordan defending against Jordan Grace and Li Ying Lee.
I'll take the artist formerly known as Xia Li to take the title back to TNA.
There you go. I think especially if she could potentially end up on the John Cena farewell show, give me Jordan Grace. Give a little shine to TNA in the process as well. And last one, the tournament final for the vacant women's speed championship. Zarya defending against Fallon Henley.
If Zarya turns on Soul, she wins this match in like fucking 35 seconds.
Agreed.
If she doesn't, I still think she wins, and I think that sets up the... Because everyone thinks it's Zarya that's going to turn.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's Soul?
That could be interesting.
What if Soul is like, you lost my title, then you took my other title. I thought we were supposed to be friends. I thought you were supposed to be my sister. Snatch a soul.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it is going to be Zarya. I think something is going to happen there. Something could relate to what happens in the Blake Soul match.
Mm-hmm.
So I think these two are connected, but I think Zarya wins.
Yeah, I think she does too. It's just, how do we end up getting there, I guess, is my real question.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's the entertaining part.
A soul turn could be very interesting.
Oh, I think that would be one of the more interesting things that they could do with this, because they've painted themselves, I feel like, into a corner that one of them has to turn.
Right.
At least based off of old school wrestling. Now, I would love for them to just be like, oh no, they figured it out. You know, and maybe they go their separate ways and they go, you go focus on you, and if you need me, I'm here, kind of thing. Like, I don't know. I like them as a tag team, and in a world where you have women's tag titles that you need teams to fight for them. Breaking up one that works really well together just to have a feud in your secondary or your developmental brand just doesn't feel like the move.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if they were on Raw or SmackDown, all right, maybe you break them up. This just doesn't feel like a reason to break them up. So yeah, I think that's where I'm at with Soul and Zarya.
Yeah, I think that's pretty solid.
There's nothing else that's going to be added to that show, right? Those are
Not that I'm aware of, at least as of earlier today.
Okay. I don't think there's anything else that they probably really could add to the damn thing, to be honest with you. So yeah. All right. Wrestlers of the week.
Yeah, I think the most obvious one is John Cena.
Big match Juan.
Big match Juan getting his big one there.
Let me open up the spreadsheet because I don't have it open. Because I was scoring fantasy wrestling. All right. So Jim has taken big match Juan. I'm gonna go with a specific person because, you know, it's what I do. I'm gonna take the MVP of the women's blood and guts match. I'm gonna take Sky Blue.
I like that. I like that a lot. Let's check here. All right, let's look here. Oh, the Kabuki ladies.
The Lady Warriors things.
Asuka and Kairi Sane, your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions.
That's a good one. I broke the news about 4.5 minutes ago. The new Impact Wrestling World Champion. I'll take Frankie Kazarian.
That's fair.
As much as it makes you want to throw up.
Yeah, that one is a choice. Let's just take one look here. Anything? Oh, and a very quick match, a surprising match, but your new U.S. Women's U.S. Champion, Chelsea Green, from SmackDown last week.
That one, when I was watching the match, I was like, so that's the thing that just happened?
Yeah, that one.
That one was solely to get a second title on her to go with the 2 belts Ethan Page has.
Correct. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, but yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah, definitely surprising. surprising.
I know she retained her title, and this will be my last pick. I'm going to take Stephanie Vaquer. But that heel turn from Miss Bella.
Love it. That's my girl.
Muy caliente, mamacita.
She's still got it. She might be better than ever right now.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because I'm older, and I'm aging with her, and she's aging much better than I am. But my goodness,
I thought the light blue gear was great. Black gear.
Back in black. Also, all the dorks doing the Cena dumped you chants. Get a fucking life. So 7 years. They're both with other people. Well, I guess Nikki's back single now, but like get a fucking life, man. Like, yeah, that was pretty lame form, but otherwise, all the tides be rolling.
All the tides and all the respectfulies.
Yes. Gonna put a little bow on it.
Yeah. You want to promote anything? You want to plug anything? You want to?
Big Jim Sports, Twitter, Facebook, or Twitter and Blue Sky. Hit the link tree. There it'll take you to 3CT. We had a fun one tonight. Did some news roundups, and we did the Mount Rushmore of face painted wrestlers. So go over and check that out. We have an extra long Tuesday show coming your way this upcoming week. We went almost an hour and a half. Had a lot of fun. Normal Tuesday shenanigans, cleaned out the topic out of the cupboard. We've been meaning to get out of there for a while. We'll have Thanksgiving specials coming up here in 2 weeks on that side. But yeah, if you hit my link tree, that'll take you everywhere. Huddle Up Podcast as well. Obviously, we're in the midst of the mid season, so yeah, a lot of content.
Yeah. You can follow me at They Call Me Bird. You can follow the show at Take the Number 3 Wrestling. We will get more information from Joe Lopez about that trip to Guadalajara, Texas, for Lucha Libre USA. Maybe that's where they promoted the Wrestling Society X coming back.
Maybe. That could also be a fake graphic I saw, but just thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah, all right. So that's going to wrap up the show for this week. Until next week, for Joe and Jim, I am Mike. We will see you right here next week for the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast.